Hey everybody, welcome back into the closet. We're going to talk about arranged marriage today, and we're going to do it with our friend Chaz Clark. He's mid-20s, so we're going to talk about arranged marriage, and he's going to chime in from that age area, group, whatever it might be, whatever we used to be back then when we were in our mid-20s. So he's going to give us his thoughts on it. We're going to give you our thoughts on it. We're going to talk about it a little bit. And then about halfway through, we're going to kick that mic on because I forgot to the first half of the podcast. But it's all right. It's not perfect, but it's all right. Second half, disclosure. We're going to get into some things that might be deemed inappropriate. Maybe not. I think we're just being real. We're just talking about some things. But it's not arranged marriage. It switches over. And we get into some other things. And just kind of rants and kind of moves on. We laugh a little. But nevertheless, we're going to kick this thing off. We're in the closet. Let's do this.
We got Chaz back.
Chaz is back in the house.
In the closet.
In the closet.
In the closet.
I've been in the house since, but I haven't been back in the ancient closet.
In the closet, in the dungeon. And it's cold in here. I have to say that every single time.
Here. I don't think I am supposed to be.
Feels fine.
I'm a big baby.
Now I got my polo on.
That I shrunk. Apparently I wasn't.
Sweet swagged out polo.
Apparently I wasn't supposed to dry it, and I shrunk it, and he told me in the nice, kind, gentle way.
Well, how else would I tell you?
That's what I say, exactly. He ain't gonna be like, woman,
You're like,
you shrunk my thing, like, go cook me something to eat now, you know what I'm saying? Or go buy me a new one.
damn it, woman, can you not do laundry?
Yeah, exactly.
To which I would say, no, I guess I can't. You better have someone else do your
Say
laundry.
that
A-hole.
wouldn't-
That's
that
what I
wouldn't
would
work.
say. Especially after today. I'm feeling a certain type
Listen,
of way about
I feel
today.
that way too.
Yeah,
It's
they
been a
say
day.
both of you,
All
yeah.
right?
It's been a stupid day, and we're going to do this podcast and feel better about it.
Heck yeah.
If you say so.
Talk about things other than how the day has been.
That's right. So what are we talking about today?
Yeah, lead the way.
JMR?
The topic of the day
Yes.
Yeah.
is marriage. Arranged marriage.
Tell the people what brought up arranged marriage, though. What have you been watching? What you have watched, Angie just started watching that kind of got the arranged marriage thing going.
All the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Right. We have this thing. It's the Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. Office Night.
Office
The
of
Office
Thrones.
of Thrones.
Office of
is
Thrones.
what
They
it
did
is.
that thing on Big Love, right? Back in the day when we watched Big Love, the Mormon show, like where they had multiple wives and stuff. Oh, it's a great show.
Because
Remember Bill Paxton? He died, but he's a great actor. Well, he's kind of a good actor.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he is.
He
You
put-
would know Bill Paxton if you saw
he
him.
had like 5 wives or 6 of them.
Oh, he had
I was
3
gonna say-
houses.
I was say
It was
'cause-
polygamy.
I was say because women's belief in that, right?
Yeah, it's polygamy.
Was that? I bet that was a crazy. What was it called? What
Uh,
show?
Big
Big
Love.
Love, and it was on HBO.
Yeah, and it was a while ago though, but it was a good show. It was
Like
addicting.
5 seasons, 6
Yeah.
seasons.
Like, when did the show end?
I don't know. I'd have
I
to
don't
look it
know
up.
dates.
I've never even heard of it.
You've never heard of it?
Like, it's like within like the past like 10 years.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It was
Yeah,
good,
HBO.
but
You
the
got
whole,
HBO.
Oh, dude, most shows
You
I
start
you might wanna-
watching.
yeah,
but I'm
okay.
interested in cults and all that stuff. That
dude,
really,
that stuff's crazy.
I love it. I love it. And then they're living with all these wives and kids, and it's pretty cool.
but we started talking about arranged marriages, so it makes sense because we started watching. And you started rewatching the Game of Thrones in turn for Chaz to watch The Office, which he didn't. So that's how we started talking about arranged marriages, which I think is
Yeah,
bullcrap.
You think you're not?
I am not
You're
on that
100%
board.
out. How Jeff was saying it is how I was kind of siding with him, which I don't really know that much about. But how he said it kind of made sense about how you're forced to make it.
No, I'm just looking at it from like, all right, well, marriage nowadays anyway, what do you got? Like you get married, what is it, 50+% end in divorce?
Do they really?
Yeah.
Are you
I
serious?
think it,
The
or is it
divorce rate
40? I
That's
don't
still
know.
a high rate. I would think it is.
Yeah, it's a coin flip.
Wow, that's something I did not know.
It's a coin flip. And you've got the and you know people though nowadays it should get better because people are starting to get married later, like in their 30s instead of like 20s. Like we're an anomaly. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
get married early, you have much less chance of the marriage surviving because just think about it. Your 20s is when you grow financially, so there's a lot of stress. Your brain doesn't fully develop till you're like mid 20s, and then you're you're like figuring everything out. So you get personality changes, everything. So
Yeah, but on the other side of that, though, if you get married a little bit later in life, you're kind of like, I see so many of our friends like this. You get, when you're into your 30s, you get set in your ways, and it's like, you can't. Do you know what I mean?
You can, but do they really want to get married?
I think it's really a good thing to kind
That's a
of
small
grow and learn
percentage.
together.
But people don't. That's my point.
Because, I think when you're older and you get married, that it's a lot of people are already set in their ways, and it's not going to be a give and take. It's going to be, this is the way it is my way, and this is the way it is your way.
You guys are kind of like a double anomaly, though, because, people that know you, people that don't know you, know that you've been together since, like, freaking high school. Like, high school sweethearts, how it goes is, like, normally that does not work out. My boy Caleb, him and his wife are like that. Like, people normally that if they're together for a long time in high school and then go through college, normally they break up during college, or as soon as they get out of college, they get tired. I mean, you guys have been together since you're like sophomores in high school. Like, that never happens, let alone being with somebody in your 20s or college.
Freshman.
See, seriously, that never. There's probably the statistic for that would be literally unbelievable to see. But that's ridiculous that the divorce rate's that high. I had no idea it was that high.
Something like that.
That's actually kind of sad.
But anyway, my point was, going back to arranged marriages, is at least in the arranged marriage and not forced marriage, which takes us down another rabbit hole, because there's a difference between forced marriage and arranged marriage in different cultures. So, but anyway, I'll make my point about what I was going to say about, okay, so we've arranged a marriage. You start the marriage out knowing it's going to be work. You have to physically, like, do the things that maybe they're easy to do. Maybe you don't have to think about them at first when you fall in love with somebody. You start dating somebody, you're automatically going to think, I'm going to ask her out, I'm going to take her flowers, I'm going to do these things. But when it's an arranged marriage, you have to learn those things. So you're like mentally saying, I'm courting her, and I got to do the thing that I've been taught to do. And then you fall in love with the person over time, because there's no just one love story. You can't just say this is the way a love story goes, because guess what? That love story is usually on hormones and stuff like that. And then when it gets down to after the first couple of years of being together, you got to deal with real crap, or you have a baby, or you have to deal with, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying I prefer it. I don't want to be set up in an arranged marriage. But I was kind of reading, and there's like forced marriages in some, where it's like, you're going to marry this family, kind of like in Game of Thrones. Like, you don't really have a say. It's forced marriage. Like, you're going to, but then a lot of the like Hindu religions and some of those, like, it's just kind of like a social thing where the parents are like, you and this girl, you should date. See if you like, but at the end of the day, it's their decision. If they like each other, they can break up.
They can choose, basically.
Right, but they kind of have to date each other if their parents want them to, but they don't have to stay together. They don't have to marry each other.
They have to at least try it, basically. Is what you're
yeah, so it's like the parents trying to hook them up. It'd be like
this is
us.
all bull crap. It's not the way it's not the way it's supposed to be.
But what if you arranged with Jeff? Then you wouldn't have had no problem with it, though. You know what I mean?
She probably would. We wouldn't be together because she'd fight it.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't.
She's
have
very
been.
stubborn.
I could tell. Yeah,
I probably wouldn't have been. I mean, if my mom and dad are going to tell me who I'm going to marry, no, you're not. I'm not. I mean, I'm not saying that it would never work, and I understand the stability of it and all this stuff. And okay, you're not going to get divorced. You can't. You're not. But it's just so much control, and that's not where we live. I mean, that's so much control. It's not even funny.
Well, I think
you're not allowing the person to actually love who they want to love.
True, but what if that's since the day you're born and that's the culture you grew up in, that's the way things are done?
Then I mean, I guess you don't know.
Then it's normal.
But
it's normal.
Okay, I understand that. But if they were able to get out and study on their own and realize that it's not always like that, I don't think they would choose that. They're like, oh my gosh, in America, you don't have to do that. Let me go on the first, however you want to get there, camel, plane, boat.
I think
horse.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I think like you, like back then, like Jeff said, if you were born that way or born around that type of environment or that whatever the law was or whatever, I think it would be normal for you to go through that. But say like you could somehow see the future or whatever and then saw like or looked over in this country or this other part of the world that, hey, they have the free will to choose who they want to be with. They can try dating this person or hang out with this person, see if they like him, or if they really, really like this person, they at least get the shot to approach them and ask them, like, rather than just being stuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you're born into that, I feel like it's the norm.
If you don't know anything any different, I understand where that's the norm. But I still don't. I mean, I know it's some religions and everything like that, and that's totally not what I'm talking about. But like, if you know, nobody's gonna choose that. Be like, hey,
No,
you know what?
I don't think so.
No.
I just don't feel like going to find who I really love. So can you just arrange it for me?
Well, no, it's never happened that way, I don't think.
Well, yeah, it has. I mean, well, no, not that way. But
Or
I mean,
the-
I'm just saying,
the
like, that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Who would choose that?
But
Right,
actually,
no.
Who
what
would
do you think
choose to
the
do
people
that?
that actually, I don't know how to put it without say maybe like somebody has a, whether it's a man or a woman, has trouble like approaching either of the opposite sex, isn't very good like carrying conversation, or don't really know, has never really had that, but like the only way for them to actually be with somebody, even if it's somebody that's not even really all that attractive to them or whatever, but they actually at least get to live their life
With
not
a
being alone
companion,
with a
yeah.
companion.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
You know what I'm saying?
But,
And that way,
and I'm
some
not.
people may not care. You know what I mean?
Right.
At that point, you know what I mean?
And I'm
Yeah.
not saying it wouldn't work. I mean, you can. I'm sure some of these arranged marriages work just fine, and they end up actually falling in love because you can not intend on really like it. You know what I mean? And it just. I mean, I get that part.
Oh,
of it.
no, yeah, I
that
think
you
that
can
people
fall in love. I'm
yeah,
sure there's
sure,
great ones,
sure.
but I'm sure there's equally as many like
Oh.
this sucks.
Yeah, people would much rather, I
This
think,
sucks.
like you said, have their own free will to choose
Yeah.
who they want to spend their life with or whatever. I 100% agree with that.
Again, I think it's a thing that's brought up almost like if you think about being brought up in your home and your religion. You know what I mean? It's brought up like this is the way we do things. And almost if anybody says anything like I can't believe you're in religion, you almost get defensive as that child that's going through this because you know it's your life, it's your path, it's part of your belief system, and you're going to go through life, and that's just how we do things in our culture, in our religion, in whatever way it might be, because it's usually tied to all that. So then you breaking away from that, you know how powerful religion is. It controls you, just like people talk about all the different religions. Well, I mean, the way I believed, and I used to get so offended about certain things or touchy about things about Christianity. But I mean, as you get older, you get a little looser and you get a little bit more confident in what you believe.
And what you get to think on your own when
You
you
get
pull
to
your
think on
parents
your
out
own.
of the. That's what I'm
Exactly.
saying. You pull whoever's arranging these marriages out of the equation. Are these people going to want to do
The
this?
thing is, even though you pull away, you still are part of that. Whatever they built into you, that's
Yeah,
still
but you
your
don't-
core.
I understand that.
And if I had the same parents, same home, brought up Muslim,
Yeah, you.
I wouldn't even think about being a Christian.
See,
well, no,
that's-
I know
I
that.
wouldn't even consider it.
I was talking to somebody about that the other day.
They'd be crazy. Just like you know.
Because like I know people that that grew up in like a Catholic home, and there's people I've met that's pulled away from the Catholic religion and like went into Christianity or whatever. But like, what is the odds of that? Because like I was brought up in a Christian home. I'm not a perfect Christian, but I believe the same way I was brought up, and
Right.
I'm set in my ways. If I was born in a Catholic home, I'm sure I would probably, or Muslim, I'd probably be 100%. Believe in Allah or believe whatever Catholics. You know what I'm saying? I feel
Yeah,
the
and the
exact same
thing
way,
is,
yeah.
like, that's compared to going from like Christianity to the Muslim faith or Judaism or Hinduism, at least Catholicism to Protestant. That's not a huge jump.
Yeah,
You're just really
certain
there's
things.
just certain things you're
Yeah.
getting out of your.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little different from like ritual stance and different things. But I mean, overall, at least that's a kind of an easy slide if you're going to
like if
get away from.
I wonder if like the arranged marriages, if like where it was kind of. Well, I know you said there's a difference between arranged and what'd you say arranged?
Yeah, what is
Forced.
I wonder, since if you grow up in that type of setting and that you know that you're going to be arranged with somebody, I wonder if like you're socially awkward, your social skills are a little down because you don't really even have to have any, because
True. Yeah.
like I wonder if they would lack like the because like a guy or a woman has to approach that guy or woman, and then they have to carry a conversation, then they have to meet up, then they have to have dinner or whatever to start dating. You know what I'm saying? So like if like you grew up and your parents told you, we've already arranged with Lucy's parents that you're going to marry her, when you don't really have to put forth any effort socially. You know what I'm saying? It's just,
Or if you're slightly like if you like the popular kid and you've got some swagger, you might play your cards. You might be like, look, I'm playing with house money.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm gonna hit on all kinds of girls because I'm already done. I mean, what do I got to lose, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got all that confidence. You're just smashing all over the place.
Oh my gosh.
Just smashing.
What's the difference between arranged marriage and forced marriage? Because I think both of them, in my opinion, is forced. I don't think there's any difference, but I'm sure there is. I'm sure you're going to enlighten us
Dude,
with it.
what?
Dude, I get dude and
sorry.
broed.
Bro.
Maddie broed me today, and I'm like, I will. If don't bro me, and you're duding me.
I think he's just duding all of us.
Okay,
And
anyway,
to
go
the
ahead.
public.
I just poked myself in my own eye. What's the difference, Mr. Research? He's got you can't see.
Well,
this,
no,
but
I printed out some stuff, but I haven't looked at it yet. I read one
Here we go
article.
again.
I read
You
one
do
article
this
on
all the
forced and
time.
arranged, and there is from what I saw, there is all kinds of levels. Like there is the level where you're brought up, and we're going to marry you to this family. Like me and her dad are boys, and we've decided this is how it's going to go. You don't like it, then we'll hang you.
That's
That's
You
what I
know-
want to ask you. Like, what's the consequence?
Yeah.
Like, do you have to pretty much die to get out of it, or if you choose to not if that's law, are you put in jail? Are you whipped? Are you?
I don't know. That's a great question.
See,
You got
he
a
does
Google
this-
machine?
he
I didn't know I was going to be answering
he
questions.
brings
Yeah,
us-
I'm not the almighty arranged marriage expert.
No,
I
listen.
just announced it at the
You
beginning of the
bring,
show.
You bring these articles, and then I'm like, tell me more. And you're like, oh, I don't know. I haven't read
It's,
the article.
look, I can dig through this while we're talking, but you guys are heckling me,
I'm not.
and I'm not a pro.
Chaz is innocent.
I'm not
It's
heckling
all
you.
me.
Thank you, Chaz.
I'm not heckling you, brother.
It's all me.
She's all over me.
All right,
Forced. Oh, wait. Here we go. Comparisons. We got the forced arranged marriage.
Forced arranged marriage.
For-
See, it is the same.
Time out. Let me read these definitions to you. All right.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Forced arranged marriage. Parents or guardians select the individuals are neither consulted nor have any say before the marriage. That's a forced arranged marriage.
Okay.
A consensual arranged marriage is parents or guardians select. Then the individuals are consulted who consider and consent, and each individual has the power to refuse. Sometimes the individuals meet in family settings or privately before engagement and marriage, as in shadoosh. I don't think that's how you say it.
Dude, as in douche.
Custom among Orthodox Jews. That's an Orthodox Jews thing. So there you go.
So there's a choice. They have a choice.
Consensual.
But parents or guardians, that's the thing about all these. It looks like the first two, the forced arranged marriage, the parents or guardians select. You ain't got a say in it. And then consensual arranged marriage is the parents or guardians select, but you've got a say in it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So it's like, yeah, you heard me. Okay, now I almost said self-storage marriage. I feel like that's been us. We've been in self-storage. We lived in a self-storage unit for the first 3 years of our marriage.
Oh, God.
Self-selected marriage. Individuals select, then parents or guardians are consulted, who consider and consent, and where parents or guardians have the power to veto. So
I just
we
can't
go
do
to
it.
the
I can't
parents and
deal.
they go,
I can't deal.
her booty ain't big enough.
Actually, I got because I've heard you say this before, in which my mom's done this to me. I don't know if Jeff's mom or dad had done it, because I know you guys have been together. Obviously, I haven't been in a relationship in a while, but I've talked to you, and then my mom's done this before. You see your kids, like my mom saw me grow up with or become friends with certain girls that maybe I might not have felt that way with. She's like, she's perfect for you. I've talked to you, and
She ruined it for you.
Yeah, you're like, well, no, she's like, she's not. That was just a whole different ball game. But you said that, like, whether it's a girl of yours or whatever, that's one of their really good friends. I don't see why maybe she isn't, or maybe she should give that guy a try. If it was arranged, you could actually have that arranged to where,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like they would have like a say in, well, I guess if you were in
I'm
the-
lost.
Like, have you, I don't know, with your girls, have any of them ever been just friends with a guy? Like, at some point you're like, but they're just friends, and you're just like, man, I wish they would date. Like, he seems like a good guy that would treat my daughter right. Like,
Yeah.
why doesn't she see that, and
I
then
see
she
what
may
you're
go
saying.
this way, and then
Yeah.
a woman or a mom could see her daughter and be like, or her son be like, why don't you date that girl? Like, even though she's one of your like best friends, like she would treat you right, but then you go to these girls over here. If you could arrange that or whatever, they would kind of.
Well, I mean, I think that's when you're a parent like us and you watch your kids. I think that's one thing that probably these cultures, they understand that kids, until they get their mid-20s or older, 80%, I know there's more mature ones, but most of them are dumbasses.
100%.
You know? And I was one, 100%. But I just got lucky.
Yeah.
You know?
Both of you.
Is that what you call it?
Both of you did.
Yeah, I got lucky. I won the lottery. So, in love, I didn't win it in money, but I won it in love.
Well, you did get me on a bet, but that's a whole nother story.
And I didn't blow it yet, so we're still doing pretty good. All right, the bet thing, let's just shut up about that.
No, I'm not shutting up about it ever,
because,
arranged marriages, what about if somebody dates you on a bet?
They won. It's a good thing. You should be happy. They won.
My point was just that if you see somebody that maybe your kid, whether it's my mom, thinking that I'm choosing a wrong girl, and then the girl that I should give a shot is right in front of me.
Yeah.
If it was arranged, and like that girl's parents was close with my parents and liked me a lot, and my mom and them like them, like they could arrange for us to actually be together or whatever. So it may be forced at first, but then we may come to find out, oh gosh, man, this was meant to be. Or man, this wasn't meant to be. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever you want to call it.
Well, that's where I was going with what I was saying is like, as parents, like you're looking at your kids and you're thinking, if they just understood, like, okay, that guy's a friend. That's what you need to make a relationship last.
Yeah.
I think sometimes the kids, they date and they've got these other preconceived, like it's either physical or it's just cool, or I'm going to hang with my friends and then we're just going to hang out and we're just going to be like this. Like, and then
I feel like
they don't, instead of like kids, you've got to be friends. Like, it's got, you've got to have a physical side to it.
Oh, 100%.
And you've got to have chemistry in every area. But listen, if you don't want to be together, that's what I told my brother, like, before we got married. I was like, if you're going to marry somebody you spend the rest of your life with, you got to think about, like, if people are like, you want a trip somewhere, who do you want to take with you? If the first person you think of that you love to hang out with, you just laugh with and have a blast with, if it isn't that, if it's the opposite, which a lot of people are like, oh, I can't wait to get away from my wife.
I feel like, besides, like, you two, I can, maybe on one hand, and I've been around, like, even, like, people in my family, besides you people, sorry, there may be, I can probably count less than on 5 fingers that I can honestly say that if somebody asked them that question, like, I just want a trip to the Maldives or a dream trip, you get to take one person you get to take. I could probably think of a billion other people that most people would choose besides their significant other, probably.
Yeah, and on top of that, though, I would say to them that they also have to have their individual life.
Well, you do.
You know what I mean? You've got to have your life with your friends and with people, but you've got to go do things. You've got to be set, because I think that's the problem. I think that's the thing. It's like, I want to hang with her, but the reason is because I think people want to get away from what's the pressure is. Like, if you're like hyper psycho about, no, don't go out with Chaz. No, why are you going out with Chaz? And
then it builds like a...
Yeah, like, I don't, why are you going back over to Delphi tonight? Or why are you hanging out with... And it's like, I want to do that more. And then I got to stress about her, and I got to make her happy. But
I think you hit it a little bit ago. I think age is a huge factor in that. Especially, I can only obviously speak on the female side of it, but... Like, back in the day, though, before we had kids and, like, when the kids were little and you wanted to go out and do things, I wasn't always, like I am now. Like, if you came in tonight and were like, I'm going to go down to the dog track and hang out to the casino. All right, cool. When are you coming back? You know what I mean? It's like, just got to know when everybody's coming back. It's a mom thing. And a spouse, they're just, I don't know. But anyway, back, when we in our 20s, if you would have come home and I had little kids hanging around and... I've been changing diapers all night, and you're like coming home from work saying I want to go to the dog track. I might have put up a little more of a fight.
Yeah,
and I did. I was like that. I'm not
too
proud to say that.
No, there's different stages.
What I'm saying.
I think it's important for people to understand that.
It's a younger thing, and I think it's a beginning of marriage thing where we've kind of grown through all that. You know what I mean? And now I kind of like push you to go do things, and you push me to go do things.
Go ahead, Jeff. You can go. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say I think anybody that's in a marriage, I think those times you both have to understand what's going on. You know what I mean? And I think we both had examples of that growing up, which a lot of people don't. At least I did. But
You mean with your parents or with
yeah, with my parents.
Okay.
And so I understood that I had to be there. Like, I had to be there. We had kids at home, and I've been out at work all day, and she's been stranded at home all day. But I also understood that there were things, and she's had the same deal too, and I understood she might not like it sometimes. Then I know I've been gone all day, but I need to go to after hours. I need to meet people for work. I need to make money. I need to do this. So I'm not going to get home till 9:30. You know what I mean? And I know you've been home all day alone. I know you've had to deal with all the crap. And it's not comfortable, but sometimes you have to say, I've got to do it.
Right.
And it's always fine.
Yeah.
But it's uncomfortable.
Back in the day, it wasn't always as fine.
And it wasn't always fun, but I was like, I'm going. Sorry, I got to go.
Well, I mean, it's just like...
And it was even with my boys. Like, I didn't do it that often, but
Right.
you at the end of the day, you always are like, it's important. I know. Like,
Yeah.
but it just was less than it would be now.
Well, now, I mean, today was a perfect example. Our morning 100% blew up in our face. We woke up, didn't think anything was going to happen that it did today.
Right.
And it got you behind in work because I had to take one kid somewhere. You had to go get a kid from somewhere else. And it put you behind in work. When I texted you this afternoon asking you how your day was going, you were like, I am so stressed. I'm so far behind. Da, 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 da. I was like, why don't you just work over? And like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to like help.
Yeah, you're like, I'll get it
Instead of being
here.
like, well, you're still coming home, aren't you, on
Yeah, I
time?
feel like
You know what I
just
mean?
I just feel like from far, most marriages are not like that. Like, there are very few. There's very few like that.
Well, it's not always.
Maybe it's
not
not
always
starting
perfect.
to know you guys more, but I
Yeah.
mean, like, but
No, it's not.
I mean,
always
it's
perfect,
pretty.
but-
It's pretty split 50-50. You know what I mean? It ain't like you're always
Yeah.
doing something. Like,
No.
if she has a long day, you'll have like dinner ready sometimes, and
Right.
she'll bring your coffee or make you something sometimes. I mean, it's like a
We're a team.
yeah, exactly, and that's the way that it should be.
We
but-
want each other to be happy.
well, yeah, that's exactly.
We don't just want I don't just want Jeff to be happy.
Yeah.
It's not an underlying thing why I do for him and he does for me. It's not like there's no underlying motive.
It's
Like,
not a job. I
Yeah.
think it's you just do it because you care.
Right,
'Cause
right.
That's what you want to do.
and that's what you have to find. And with arranged marriages, I mean, maybe that comes to fruition sooner than if it's not arranged, because you know, well, this is who I'm arranged to be. Can they get out of these? Like, is there a divorce? Like, can you in arranged
What do you say?
marriages?
In one of them, you can.
You
Other
can't.
one, you pretty much don't have a choice. Like one of them, it's consensual.
No,
so-
I mean, like, if after you've been together, so you have an arranged marriage and you you're married. Well, if this is an arranged marriage, we've been married for like 4 or 5 years, and they're just like, this is miserable. Can they get out? Or do you not know? I'm asking the hard questions.
I don't know. I mean,
I just wonder if
maybe
they
they
can.
can. I think that depending on the culture, it would not turn out very well.
Because, I
for
mean-
them, there'd be the
maybe
shame.
You maybe shunned
And
upon
shunned,
that.
yeah.
Because that's a horrible. Would that not be horrible to have to live a miserable life? Because, you know, now, yeah, you
Yeah.
get married to someone and you think it's great, and then 5 years down the road, even if the other person didn't do anything, you just are like, I don't like this. Like,
This is awful.
it was a front. The first year they did this and they did that, and they made me feel this way and that way, and now it's totally the opposite, and I can't deal anymore. I've got to go.
I'm sure that's
We have the freedom to do that, which is kind of sucky. But I mean, we do have that freedom and that luxury.
Well, it's
I
never
guess,
easy. It's
No, I
somebody-
know,
and
but
it
I'm just-
sucks. But yeah, but at least once you're out, like once you've decided, okay, we're divorced, you can start a different life. And
Yeah,
it's not
I
the
mean-
end of the world. I think for some of these cultures, it's literally the
I
end of the
know,
world.
and that's so miserable. I can't imagine being miserable in my life all the time. I mean, sure, like you said, nothing's perfect, and we have bad days, and we have bad weeks, and I mean, there's been some bad months, and there's been
Oh,
bad
yeah.
years.
There has
But I
been some
mean-
bad
There's no such thing
times.
as a fairy tale.
There
There's
isn't.
No, and if you're thinking that, then you're gonna, like I've always said, there's
was
for the
telling her,
ladies, it's
if Jay-Z is going to cheat on Beyonce and they're both probably together worth $1 billion and got everything that they want, everybody is going to have problems. I mean, if money was the solve, be
Yeah.
all, be all, like these people got enough money that they can take years of vacations upon years and be with each other. But like, he cheated on her. You know what I mean? Like, these people have everything that you would want financially.
yeah, but that can be a
Yep.
problem. If
Well, that's what
somebody
I'm saying.
dumped, if we won the lottery tomorrow, that might be the worst thing in the world that could happen
That could
to
be.
us.
I guess you're right. That is true.
We've
Yeah.
struggled for years together just to make it month to month. You know what I mean? Just to make it out. And when we have,
That is true. I didn't. Think
and it's
about
like if you can survive that, that's where it is. It's down in the gutter. It's down in the fight where
that's where you know
where
if
you
it's
kill each other, where
Yeah.
you run from each other. I mean, if things got really, really easy, who knows? I hope.
That is true. I didn't think
I
about
would
that.
hope to think that we would even be closer and we would build bigger and better things together.
That is true.
And wouldn't
it
get.
could be
But I think when you're Jay-Z and the ego he's got to have his ladies, man.
I didn't think of it like that. You said if you're used to just kind of the struggle or making it month to month and then kind of just living a comfortable, just a normal life, and then you get all this to you, it may make things worse. So it could make things worse.
It might. You got to be careful what you wish for, I think, sometimes.
Yeah.
I think people
Would be
people
nice
need to know
It would
they.
be nice to hit the lottery, though. Wouldn't it?
I would take it.
I'm just sitting here thinking, like, man, I don't know. But no, I mean, it wouldn't. It might be detrimental. You're right, but it also
I didn't
would
think of it like that. Yeah, it could
help
be
a lot
detrimental, but it
too,
could not
because
be.
you know, I could name a list of things that we could use that money for.
I could say with arranged marriage, though, like I could see pros and cons. I don't think it's all cons. You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess
don't think it's
not.
all pros either.
I would love to meet someone who
I
was
would
in
too.
an arranged
That'd be
marriage because
cool.
we're just speculating here. We
You
don't
wouldn't
know.
from both sides, though, would you? Kind of like
Yeah.
one that maybe the guy and the girl were there for a while and then it didn't work out, or they just straight up didn't like each other
Yeah.
at all, or one they did and it was a match made in heaven.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
The thing that worries me, though, well, not worries me, but the thing that makes me think it might be skewed, and that's why, like here it says divorce rates for the divorce rates have climbed in the European Union and the United States with increase in autonomous marriage rates. So autonomous marriage rates, not arranged.
Right.
The lowest divorce rates in the world are in the cultures with the highest rates of arranged marriage, such as Amish culture of the United States, Hindus in India, ultra-Orthodox Jews in Israel, you know, that kind of thing. Let's see, 53.25% of marriages are arranged worldwide. So, but you got to think about it. What I was getting ready to say that concerns me if you would have a conversation is these religions, if you look at them, the woman might be in a place where the religion dictates her to be more of a submissive wife. So if that's the expectation from your father and your mother and your family, and that's what a good wife is,
Yeah, that is true.
you know what I mean? Then you're
Which is
never
bull crap
you
as
might
well.
not leave, and you might not ever say that it's bad if it's horrible, right? Because a good wife wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
And then
true. It
and then
could
give
be
that
skewed.
example to her
That's
kids.
that's not a wife. That's a prisoner.
Okay,
But
you see my point though.
Growing up in
It's
that.
in
Yes,
all
I do.
religions,
I do
and
see
it's
your
horrible.
point.
It's horrible
But
pressure like that comes from religion.
Do you think though that the reason why the divorce rate in arranged marriages is lower is because it's just not a freaking option? It's not an option. So therefore, obviously, the divorce rate.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
yeah.
so the stability's bullcrap. It's stability because it has to be.
think
It's
he's-
stability because
I think
We're
he's saying-
agreeing.
I think he's saying if you actually talk to him, that even if
like that's why
even
they're
if it is
stable.
even if it is
It's not
depressing or it's torture, they're not going to come out and say that. You know what I mean?
right? No,
it's-
but
you know what I mean?
yeah, but
The
I mean, you're
rates-
arguing stability. That I'm looking at this word stability here, and you're saying, well, they're more stable in arranged marriages.
no,
that's not stability.
The rate is stable. Like when you look at
because it has to be.
no, I get what you're saying.
Because it has to be. There's no option.
right.
So that
You think the
statistic
infidelity
is
rates are
bullcrap.
higher in arranged marriage?
I probably. I think it
think
probably
people
is
are-
because I mean you're arranged to marriage this person. If I was arranged to be married to you, and that was arranged, and I'm in this culture where I have to be married to you, if I'm not attracted to you, girl can only fake it so long. She's gonna need to really get smashed.
Smashed.
It came out. It came out finally.
And same for
Or-
the guy. Same for the guy. What if the guy?
Well, that's what happens. Yeah.
So what it?
And you have this little bit of justification in the back of your head, right? Both ways. It's like, well, that's not the girl I picked. I'm not really attracted to her because she's got no butt.
and she
and
can't
I'm
go anywhere because this is
Right.
arranged.
So
and-
we're together and we both know that. So it's not that big of a deal that I hook up with.
right. I don't know.
And if you think about it, in the show that we're watching, which I know they have a bunch of bastard children on the side, most people.
That's
do.
true.
There's a bunch of
Yeah,
snows. There's
yeah.
a bunch of snows.
Yeah, there's a bunch of snows,
So-
a bunch of this or that.
But I mean,
That's
that
a
is
good
an
point.
interesting point because I bet either way, I bet that there is some infidelity going on.
Yeah, not even a
Because-
suppressed woman. I'm even talking about the man is cheating because
Oh,
it's not the
yeah.
woman he picked.
No, I'm saying both ways. Because what if the guy's arranged and to the lady, and it's like he's just not. He's just
She
not.
don't do it for him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is true.
You can only fake it for so long.
And when you know that you've taken someone that it hasn't chosen you, like I can see that for me. Like this woman is so good to me. Like she fixes my dinner every night, and she does whatever sexual deeds
she didn't choose
that
me,
she's allowed to do.
Yeah.
But by her religion, but I know she's doing all that stuff because
She has to.
she's been taught to be a good wife.
Yeah.
That's what's considered a good
And
wife.
now I know
Yeah.
that she's not really wanting to do it, but the freak down the street, she's
Yeah,
doing it because she wants
because
to do it. Like
you-
she's actually
yes.
down.
wanting me.
Yeah.
there
she's-
has to be some sort of self-esteem issues that go on in these marriages.
Oh, I believe
because
it.
Or
you're
else they
like-
just completely like somehow like demonize sex and cut it out. Like,
I don't.
and you know what they do in some of those Muslim countries? Have you heard about that? I know they did in Africa. I remember learning about that when I spent the summer there.
I know
I spent summer in Africa. The female genital mutilation. Have you heard about that? They do that when they become of age, when girls come of age, so that they don't leave and so they don't have sexual desire, so they won't ever leave or
That is
stray
so
on their man. They
that-
cut their clit off.
That is so wrong.
That's horrible.
Yeah, in the
That's
Muslim
like-
I
communities,
will
some of
hurt
them.
a person.
That's
They
like
cut, so they'll never have an
That's like-
orgasm.
It
That's
is.
like
That is.
satanic,
That's like
Yeah.
cult like. That's like ridiculous.
They do that
I
stuff.
feel like I have heard
Google
that,
it.
actually.
Maybe not images. I wouldn't Google images.
Last time we Google image in
waffle.
here with Chaz,
Blue
it was
waffle.
bad.
Blue waffle.
Just like,
Hey.
I want to see a blue waffle.
But
I
I-
don't.
Pass the
let's go
syrup,
back.
baby.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna throw up. Hey, back to this infidelity
right
thing.
here.
I like that. I like this because in these arranged marriages, there's ever a time where the couple are like, they're cool with each other, they're friends, they're getting along, they're just not attracted to each other, and they sit down one night at dinner and they're like, look, we're in this arranged marriage. I get it, but you want to go have fun and I'll go have fun? I mean, I know that in America that happens in marriages. They have open things like that. But it's on the hush hush. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, look, Jeff, I know we're in this arranged marriage. You go have your fun on the side and I'll go have my fun on the side and we'll still be married. Do you think that
No.
happens?
I don't like that.
I
I'm
think
not
that
saying do you like it. I'm saying do you think that happens in arranged marriages?
I think that the
I'm sh-
arranged marriages, I would say a huge, if not 100% of them, are tied to a very strong religion,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
else they wouldn't be arranged.
That is true.
Saying,
Just out of just straight
So
up
they're-
saying you're being arranged, there has to be some type of law of religion,
Right,
like,
and
not
then
like
They're
just
going to
a
be
law
very
where
like
that you-
strict
But don't
and
you think
stingent
that
about
there's-
sexual activity. Period.
Don't you think there's some religious people in in regular American marriages who
Yes.
that happens?
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
so why is our religion so much more weak that maybe there's people that are religious or in Christianity that have open marriages and open relationships, but these people don't? Why is their religion so much stronger? I think that there
I don't
are.
think it's
there probably
stronger.
is.
I think it's just that would be probably one of the smaller percentage things that
I think
happens
that it
even
can happen.
within
I think it's small-
Christianity or
I
whatever.
think it is a small
That
percentage.
stuff happens in Christianity.
That's what I'm
too.
saying.
That happens in
So I think it would happen in
Yeah.
these religions
Okay.
too. Why not?
Yeah, it probably does.
It happens. Not arranged. I don't think Christianity. There's such thing as arranged
No,
marriage in
no.
Christianity, but I know. I don't know, but I can almost 1% guess that there has been Christians that have cheated on their significant other before
Absolutely.
being married. I could.
Oh
learn-
God, yeah,
Oh, I
it's,
mean, I know
it's
that for a
huge. Yeah,
fact.
I don't know if
the
I'm-
church has nothing. I mean, the divorce rate in the church is the same as it out of the
I
church.
see.
So
I don't know
why
if
is
I
it not
caught
in
what we were
this
talking-
religion? Why are you saying their religion is so much more?
I get what you're saying now.
Do you
Like,
know what I'm saying?
No, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know.
I'm just wondering.
That's an interesting thought.
why is theirs like that? Is that what you're getting at? Like,
Yeah. Why do we think that? Oh no, because their religion is that they're in an arranged marriage and it's a religion thing.
What-
Okay. Well.
It
Maybe
comes-
maybe think they're just maybe that's just a preconceived notion, or maybe it's just
It's also
a
a preconceived
judgment.
notion that nobody in Christianity would do that.
Well,
either,
well,
but
right,
they
and
do.
that's my point. It's
Yeah.
like I think right off the cuff, I'm like, well, when you say arranged marriage, it automatically ties this overwhelmingly strict and like
Yeah.
stringent society that not even us, not even strict Christians are that way. You know what I mean?
I kind of get what you're saying because we'll put it this way. Like, I've commented on this before. Like, in America, like comedians, they'll be quick to bust out a Jesus joke. Do you think where they're Muslims over there saying Allah jokes?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they are? Why not?
Because they'll kill them.
Why is it like that? I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, why is theirs like
I
that?
don't
But
know.
why
You
is
look
ours?
at look at their religion more. I don't know.
It is what it is, basically. Because, like I said, like you see nothing like that over there. Like if somebody comes out,
they're
here and says,
extremists.
like a
They have
Jesus
some
joke,
serious extremists,
you
but
say
so
an
do they.
Allah
There's
joke in like a synagogue or something like that.
Oh, you're done.
You're going to be freaking hung in the streets.
yeah, it's very sacred.
Like I think you were getting like, why is theirs like that? Why is ours not like that? Which I don't know if you can really answer that, but that's just.
I just,
know what I'm saying?
I don't know why it would be so held to so much more high
Like you
standard.
don't even hear jokes like that even in America. Like comedians don't bust on like Allah or Buddha really that much.
No.
It's Jesus because that's what's portrayed in America. That's the main.
Yeah, it's true.
But you don't hear that over there though. Like you don't hear of comedians doing Allah jokes or.
Because they just don't have that sense of humor.
They may not. Too. That is true. Probably that is probably true. They probably don't.
I'm just thinking that we are holding these arranged, forced marriages to a higher standard. I think that we're saying you are. Well, I don't know if you are, but I'm just saying like. I think they're the same as us. Us meaning, we live in America and we have American weddings and marriages, and none over here I don't think are arranged. So, but why are we? They're still humans, and yes, they probably have some deep religion rooting. But I still think, end of the day, bottom line, they still have the same desires and the wants and the needs that we
100%.
have. And if they're not being met, they need to have them met. 100%. And I think they may go outside of the marriage and do that. Everybody has, unless you're in Africa, like you said, and your pleasure button is cut off, then you're going to have those needs and you're going to have those desires. And if they're not being met by the person that you're arranged to marriage, if you're just not attracted to them and you just can't get there with them, you're going to need to do that one way or shape or form.
Well, you are, but
and maybe you do that to yourself. I don't know.
But I wonder after if you would feel bad for it.
Oh, I'm sure.
I don't know. I mean, I'm saying
if it's not agreed upon.
Because it's not. I think, like you said, everybody should have their own free will to choose.
Yeah.
Even whether you view it right or wrong, I
right.
think it's a really slippery slope. But people should not be forced to do anything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, even if you believe like in Christian stuff, people should not be like lined up on the streets and like a gun pointed to their head, like you must. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's like I wonder if like they're like, hey, you go do your thing, I go do my thing. We'll meet back this evening.
Right.
I wonder once you do that though, when you come back, like I wonder if they would feel any different. Like if they felt they'd done something wrong, or am I doing something right here? Am I doing something wrong?
I don't think they'd feel bad if they both had done it and they both agreed and it was an agreed upon thing. I don't think he would feel that bad. But if we were in an arranged marriage and he didn't know that he wasn't meeting my needs and I needed my needs met and I went and somebody else met, yeah, I think that they probably.
That's a big problem.
Yeah, of course. I think that
arranged or not,
they would arranged or not.
It's still going to hit your ego.
Right.
Oh, 100%.
Because you own her in those situations. I mean, that's what it feels like in an arranged marriage. Like if you're forced to marry me, you know what I mean? It's like.
Well, then she owns him too.
That's cool.
And it's not like that.
But guys have more.
What about a
ego than girls.
consanguineous marriage? How do you say that? Consanguineous marriage?
Yeah, consanguineous.
Is a type of arranged
What?
I'm reading this. Endogamous. Endogamous.
Do the hand up.
Marriage is one where the bride and groom share a grandparent or near ancestor.
Ew, okay, I'm done.
What?
Example of these include first couple marriages, uncle-niece marriages, followed by second cousin and uncle-niece marriages. Between 25 and 40% of all marriages in parts of Saudi Arabia and Pakistan are first cousin marriages.
No. Okay.
No, definitely not. We're not inbreeding around here.
No. We are
And
not.
Alabama. I missed Alabama.
Oh!
Just
That's
kidding.
where it comes from.
Just
My friend
kidding.
Shane's in Dude, that would be. But I guarantee you, though, I'm not saying it's right, but I guarantee you there's been some that have been a match made in heaven. How much you know about me?
Oh,
I bet there's
guaranteed.
been some that have been.
And like a uncle, like niece.
No, not that. I'm talking just arranged, like
sure.
Yeah. But I'd say there's a way higher rate of like, at first, like I wasn't about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
Look at Jamie
I
and-
think that you can. No, he's not talking about that anymore. We're talking about arranged marriages again because you took that to a level that I don't want to go to.
That's
I was trying to
That's
shake
gross.
things up, people.
I think that you're
am.
right though. I think that there can be arranged marriages that you that work out just fine and they're just absolutely happy. I'm not saying that because you just like back to the friend thing. Oh, sorry. You could be friends with someone and be like not attracted to them at all in any way, shape, or form. But as the friend, you know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden, okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So I don't think that it's that you're doomed because it could happen.
Like you could think.
I'm sure you had all kinds of boyfriends as you were a kid. I bet they look at your Facebook and they're like, "Damn, man, I wish I would have hooked up with her. She's such a tomboy. She's a good friend,
they see
and
you
now
years
she's so
later,
smoking
like,
hot."
yeah,
and I
they're
wish
like,
I did have a lot
freaking-
of guy friends. I've always had guy friends. I've had a lot of guy friends growing up, but
Another thing that I think about it too is like, I'm trying to think of how to put it like this. I guess I would see it more coming from, even though I'm not a parent, but if I was a parent, like, that this, say I have a son, I know that my son goes after girls that don't really present themselves well. They're
hoes.
Yeah, basically, yes. I'll just say that, yes. Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.
But I know that
I'm
I have.
comfortable with hoes.
I know I have the power, and along with their parents to not. I know it's kind of unfair, but not let my son like go down that route. Like he'll at least be presented to a woman or a woman that at least portrays herself to be a woman, and hopefully
a freak in the sheets.
Yeah. Oh well. Freaking the sheets. I mean, it is what it
That's
is. But
good. But be a lady in the streets.
Yeah, be a lady in the streets. That's
right.
Exactly
Yes.
right. Lady in the streets, freaking the sheets.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like in a range, like you could have that, but it's still somebody should have their free.
We could do this whole show on Usher.
That is.
We got Confessions 1 and 2.
I love Usher. Favorite R&B of all time.
He's great.
Atlanta, stand up. You met him.
yeah, I didn't meet him.
Oh,
He's at the same
He's in
restaurant.
the same restaurant as you.
Yeah.
What else are we going to talk about? My freaking day yesterday at work.
Oh my gosh!
Did you not hear about?
You said you were going to text him and give him a hard time about it.
Oh, you ladies, man.
Listen, that
You
was the
ladies, man.
funniest thing
Did
ever.
y'all
Let me
hang
set
out
it
last
up.
night?
Let me set it up. Okay, so Chaz is over at Burger King buying a guy that comes into the gym all the time his coffee. Okay, so he's gone. Okay, Chaz is not in the building. These three ladies come in. That how can I put it? That
They're not your type.
okay. Perfect. Great. Thanks, Jeff.
You can always count on me to be appropriate.
they're wanting to sign up for the gym. Well, I can't help them with that really necessarily. So I'm like killing time. I'm showing around. I'm like, Chaz will be here in a minute. He just went over to Burger King and he'll be back. And so we're like killing time. And Randy was like, oh, here he comes. He's coming. And the girl looks up out the window. I don't even know if I told you this part. The girl looks out the door. She goes, oh, I'm definitely signing up.
I did not know that too. You just told me that. I did not know that.
And I, to myself, I'm crying, laughing. And so Chaz comes in. He takes care of things, whatever.
I bet
so
you
she's
do.
sitting outside. This girl that said that is sitting across from me. I'm eating my lunch, and she keeps saying over and over again, he is so hot. Oh, my gosh. He is so hot over and over. So Randy just finally says, Andy's single.
Oh God bless.
She's so thirsty.
I didn't know that.
And
I didn't know Randy said that.
and she looked at me and she was like,
He told him. Okay. never mind, go on.
yeah, well, I had your back. I was like, Randy, I don't know about that.
Here's a word for you, thank you.
I don't know about that. And she was like, oh, no. She was going on and on. Well, anyway, they ended up not signing up for the gym for obvious reasons. I mean, like, they weren't gym ready. They didn't want, were they not about the gym? They wanted a $10
No,
gym.
Angie's right when she says that.
Anyway.
It isn't that they looked. It's just they weren't ready.
They
They
weren't
weren't ready
ready.
for the commitment. The commitment.
Yeah, they weren't ready for the commitment. They didn't want to commit. So they'd leave.
The physical commitment or the financial commitment?
Physical, I think.
Probably, yeah.
I'm guessing you know.
So they definitely couldn't handle your physical commitment. That's what we're really saying here.
So anyway, no, but listen, fast forward 10 minutes later, the phone rings. The phone rings in the office, and Chaz goes in and he answers the phone, and I'm sitting out there still eating, and I'm overhearing the conversation. He's like, yeah, well, I'm talking to someone. They
Jesus.
called,
When you're praying
They
at
call-
night.
they
and-
call.
they called, and they were inquiring about him because she thought he was so hot, and she wanted to like talk to him, and he had to say he
No,
was
she said they called,
seeing
and
someone.
I said, she says, "This Chaz?" I was like, said my actual name, and I'm like, yeah, and they're like, do you remember something? And like it wasn't that I think the woman that was talking about me. It was one of the women it was in there talking to me. Not the one who was sitting across from you, or the one that was over there, because there's 3 women.
Yeah.
The one, I guess it was mean toward me, was sitting across from Angie. Well, she's like, "Did you see my friend?" Or whatever. I'm like, "Earlier? Like your friend that was here earlier, or whatever?" And she's like, "Yeah, whatever, sir." And she's like, "Well, she thinks you're hot. What do you think about her?" I'm like, dude.
I don't remember.
I'm like, and I'm not good on the fly either. I'm like, I think first thing I'm talking to somebody. So she's like, "Well, what do you think about it?" I'm like, "I'm talking to somebody." And then she was like, she said something. I don't remember what she said. And then they hung up, whatever. But dude, it was so weird.
It was the best thing ever.
Dude, that's
Seeing
awesome.
him wiggle on the phone was amazing.
And then somebody called after that, and I was just glad that it wasn't them.
You were scared to answer the phone?
I was scared because I forgot the number that had called.
Yeah.
But it was.
You know, it makes you feel good though.
Oh, I can take
A
compliment.
little bit.
I'll take compliment where I can get it.
Same,
But,
yeah,
but,
for sure.
It was just,
But
it's just weird. Like, there's different ways to, you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
a guy would appreciate a girl approaching, but I mean, like,
it's like, why do the hot girls never do that?
yeah, exactly, yeah. Like,
I get
why-
that. Like,
you know
I
what I'm
mean-
saying? Like, if it
Because
was,
just think about it though.
well,
Just
hot
think,
girls know that they don't have to do that.
well, they
because-
don't have to do that, and well, that's mean, but they respect them. I mean, just think about that. If she'll do it there, she's going to do it at Sprint down when
Yeah.
she goes in to
Oh,
give her
seriously.
phone. If the
If it-
guy's hot, she's going to be like, "Oh my gosh, she's so hot."
If it were,
And
yeah,
I would be thinking,
there's other ways
she went
to do
that
it.
crazy
She's
about
not
me.
smart.
But most really attractive, pretty women know that they're pretty. So they know that they're good looking, that they're fine. So they don't have to do
but
that.
they don't.
Uh-huh.
See what I'm saying there? They know they're pretty, but they know they're not. They don't act like they know they're pretty.
Some
Some do, some don't.
Some do, some don't, though.
I'm saying to me,
Uh-huh.
a truly beautiful woman
Well, yeah.
knows she's beautiful,
Yeah,
but
truly,
she doesn't act like
Oh,
she knows
yeah,
she's
yeah.
beautiful.
There's very few, I think, because most, I'd say younger girls are probably more like how I'm saying. Like, girls my
I got
age and
you.
probably younger
Yeah.
than me that aren't as, like, mature as that. Like,
Right.
they know that they can throw up pictures on the Instagram like this and then go out and do this. But a guy, even if a guy sees them, like, talking to 3 different guys, that one guy's still going to...
Yeah.
Other guys are still going to slide in and try to move their way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
A
yeah.
girl that's actually a beautiful woman inside and out knows that she's pretty, but doesn't act like she's like prettier than this girl down the street that isn't. That, you know what I mean? So it just kind of just depends. But
Well, and I think too, I mean, if it were me if I were single and I was if I went into a gym and I thought the person the person trying to working was attractive, I wouldn't immediately have my friend call. I would be a little bit more slick than that, right? Like, you would join the gym, go in there, try to slide in, right? Why do you just go straight to the junior high stuff? Why do you do
I can teach you on sales what you do. You go in, you prospect,
get to know 'em.
you talk to them for a while, you leave something. You always leave your umbrella or you leave something. Seriously. And you just show up like 3 or 4 or 5 days later. You just show up. You don't call and say, "Hey, did I leave my umbrella?" No, you show up and you go, you see that Mr. Jones's car is in the parking lot. You know he's there. You go and say, "Hey, how was your day meeting with Mr. Jones?" I'm almost sure I left my umbrella here. Did I leave my umbrella here? I'll check with Mr. Jones. Next thing you're in.
what if you leave your razor?
Your razor.
That's weird.
No, for the
Yes. Then you don't want to go back. Because
have-
if you
you
need
forget it in the bathroom.
we have an ongoing thing here. Should we
That's
talk about this?
What if you leave it there?
A razor. Should we talk about why?
What would the razor be there for, Jeff?
to shave the boosh. You don't. How are we getting on the boosh?
Well, you said you
The
forget
boosh. R.I.P. Boosh. 1989. The boosh died and was buried.
No, I was having a conversation. Well, it was quite a while ago. It was maybe a few years ago. We were at lunch. There was a group of us at lunch.
Women?
Women. A group of women at lunch.
R.I.P.
Probably.
1989.
Actually, let's move that up to probably 1999.
1999, okay.
But anyway, it was like 2 or 3 years ago, and it was when I was working at a law firm, and all of us ladies were talking, and the comment came up, and this lady goes, "Do you know what the younger girls are doing?" And this other lady was like, "No, what?" She was like, "They're shaving down there," and they were like appalled, and they looked at me, and I was like, They were like, no. And I was like, well, I don't understand. They had no clue that was a thing.
All of the girls?
Probably the majority that I was with, yeah.
How many were there?
Probably 4.
How old are these women? Are 60s?
No.
No, at the time, how old were they?
No, they weren't in their 60s at the time. They were probably late 40s, early 50s. But they were seriously appalled. And they looked at me, and I really feel like they looked at me differently.
What?
I'm telling you, it was weird. It was like they were like...
What's weird is too... Yeah, that's weird. That's not cool. You got
I just said don't knock it until you try it.
You got to manscape.
Wait a minute, there should be no... You should have no explanation for that.
What do you mean?
Of taking care of business down there. Like that's
you want it to be inviting unless you don't want it to be inviting. And maybe they were in arranged marriages and they didn't want to do their partner, so they didn't want them to go near
Seriously,
it and have to wrestle through that entanglement. They don't want to have to freaking... I mean, get the weed whacker out. No, you're going to wake the kids up.
I can't get through there.
I just don't understand it. I guess I used to...
That could be a defense mechanism, like you said. I don't mean to sound like a nerd, but seriously, that could be it.
Yeah, it could be.
And maybe, you know what, but there's preferences. Maybe.
There are some people have fetishes. Some people love the old school boosh. Like back in the day when I was a kid and you had the like, you don't understand. See, this is the thing that you missed out on it. How old are you? 25, 24, 25,
yeah. 1993.
So,
1993,
Jordan had 2 titles by the time you were born.
I know. 99 was the last season with the Bulls, right?
Oh my gosh.
Or 97,
He's 1991. He had a championship. 92. 90.
I told you that's why.
Anyway, where I was going with this is you grew up in the easy days where all you had to do is either get a phone, which you had them basically by the time you
I had a
were...
Razor when I was younger.
Okay, but you couldn't do this on the Razor, so you had to get online.
Not a Razor, is
porn.
it? I'm meaning like
porn. Like a teenage boy that finds porn is
how'd you find porn back then?
Magazines.
Oh, Playboys.
Playboys, penthouses. Penthouses were filthy. And you know what they are now? You want to know what penthouses are now?
What is it?
The penthouses I looked at when I was a teenager. Bushes everywhere. But
No.
you know what they are now?
What?
They're comic books, man. Kids pick those up and be like, "What's this?"
That is true.
It's nothing. Nobody's getting choked half to death. Nobody's eyes are watering. Their mascara's running. Nobody's like just like gagging and like slobbering everywhere. They didn't do that crap back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
I had that easy
There's
access.
no live action.
No. So me and my boys, we had one dad who had a huge Playboy. We had 2 dads that had huge
Nudie
Playboy,
mags.
big collections. Break into the house.
Respect that.
When he wasn't there, we'd steal them.
Marilyn Monroe.
We had a
treasure chest.
I don't know how many, maybe 3 or 4 trash bags so the water couldn't get in. Kept that crap in the woods.
So the water couldn't get in.
I respect that.
You kept them in the woods, man.
You had to ease up the
you just
tension.
mosey down there when you're curious and you're wanting a womanly
so
shape.
Here's what you're saying. Okay, so now you're telling me that you had to access your spank bank in the woods.
Oh God, yes. You had to work so hard to get porn. You would like stand there at 7-Eleven with your Slurpee, being like,
like
"It's just behind the counter." If I had the gonads to buy it and not know that somebody's going to come through the door.
That's awesome.
And nowadays, these kids,
though.
they don't know what they got.
No, they have.
No, seriously, like me growing up, like I had easy access.
What do you want to see?
Yeah,
right.
Well, even now, kids.
You
like
got to
now,
try to not see stuff.
It's got category, yeah.
Like you got to be like, I didn't want to see that.
Like that's too much or whatever.
So
I didn't want to see.
Accessible.
Yeah, that is true. That'd have been
And it's you don't have to work for it anymore. It's not appreciated.
Listen, not only that. Okay, so you had in our day where you had to have magazines. Then fast forward a little bit later, it was easy access. You could find it on the internet. Today, just ask any girl at school to send you something. You want live action. You want to be in the moment. You want to be like, I'm going to see you tomorrow. So this is even more at a more level.
It was like that when I was in high school.
Was it like
not as bad now?
It's bad now.
But like we were having, so weird too. Like I've definitely never said the name, but there was this girl that say I'm a guy, you know what I mean? I was a younger dude. We're like 16, 17, 18, whatever.
You're a
so,
human. Go
yeah,
ahead.
There's
so-
hormones flowing through.
Yeah, hormones
Right.
flowing.
It's normal. It's
Yeah.
nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, but it wasn't cool for me. But obviously, there's this girl that I wasn't really talking to, but I don't know how to put it. Anyway, but like she sent me pictures, like full body pictures, or whatnot. Well, like obviously, what do you do whenever you're a guy? Whenever if a girl or maybe not Angie, maybe like a girl, say hypothetically a girl you dated before her or whatever, or her, say you never got married to or whatever, sent you pictures. We're gonna show your boys, right?
Right.
If I wasn't dating her, you know what I mean?
Right. So there's no like.
You've got to, so you can have cred. You got to
Yeah,
have street cred.
straight cred, exactly. So
They got to know you're a man. They got to know that you
seriously,
got to
you know
one
how
up
it
them.
is.
That's why these girls that are
Street
like,
cred.
he'll never show
Oh,
his friends.
gosh.
Seriously.
What's wrong with you?
Exactly, yeah.
Yes, they will.
Yeah, now I'd be like...
And if they don't now, they're going to.
Exactly.
Because you're not going to be with them forever.
It's like you said, because when they sent it to you, you said, the guys going to want to show, like, yo, I got this to send me this. You know what I'm saying? You want to see what I got over here? So, like, well, anyway, and then, like, when we start having, like, it didn't get out, like, it got out a little bit, like, not to, like, the whole school to where, like, she got in trouble or anything. She didn't get in trouble, but, like, after a while, I felt bad because, like, she ended up knowing that, like, some people got him. But we started having classes, like, seminars on, like that cops coming and stuff like that. Like, nobody was put, but they're like, yo, ladies, guys, you get caught sending pictures of this or this, like, whatever you're doing, like, could be the things that you could happen. This could go on your record. So, like,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine what it is now.
Yeah. It's bad.
You know what I mean? But
It just keeps evolving, but the accessibility and
it's bad, yeah.
it really is, but I don't know. But back to the original
What
statement.
blows my mind is dudes send their junk to girls. Like
So
anybody
easy.
wants to see that, right?
Yeah, it's more the other way. It's more women. That's what mostly.
Well,
gets
yeah,
me.
because
now
women,
you probably
women
got
are
more
sexy,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
I mean,
women
that's
actually they look
back
better.
in my day. I mean, it was like rated R movies. Like what were the big movies back in our day? Like there's some super risky movies that were
Like-
supposedly risky that weren't
like-
risky now.
bet.
Like Dirty Dancing.
Well, no, I'm
Yeah,
talking
it
about
was.
more risky than that. Like filthy. Like they were out like NR. Like they were not rated.
I don't know what movie. I mean, I don't
Trying to
know.
think of
I couldn't think
I
of
said
one.
Dirty Dancing would be probably
I guess I'm thinking like 90s, but
Heathers,
anyway,
I don't know. I
it's
mean,
nothing now.
it's it's
Showgirls,
nothing
maybe?
there.
That's an old school movie. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
maybe.
Showgirls.
The
Showgirls.
first movie, the first actual movie, if we're talking about like,
Rated R, like a nudity or
no, I'm
whatever.
talking about like,
Porn,
like
like straight up porn or a movie. Like, are you saying like, is this like?
no, it's like straight up. No, it's not.
They
a movie.
used to be porn movies.
Yeah.
They're not just a minute and a half clips like today.
No, it's like no.
I didn't know if you were in a theater or what you're talking.
No, I was in my friend's basement.
Okay.
It was the same night that it was in 8th grade. It was the same night that I ever tried to drink, and
Big night for you.
Yeah.
Big night.
Oh,
Moving up in the
a
world.
little bit
Yeah.
more than I needed.
Firsts.
But it was so
wave.
funny when I think back now at that movie. I'm like, that was so weak. It was literally called "It's
And
Not
funny.
the Size That Counts." Yes,
That's crazy. You still remember that?
I do. I mean, how would you not remember the title of your first one you watched?
I don't.
Well, then it must not have been very good.
Because he watched
It's been
16
so-
after. We're dudes. Like, we don't remember
It's
titles.
so long ago. I was probably
So
like.
was mine. I was in 8th grade, dude.
that's
I'm
like
gonna be
freaking
43 next
close
week.
to- don't mean
What are you
real
talking
close
about?
To like, I can't remember how old I was.
They mean something.
But it was
to
way
you,
sooner.
though.
It was.
Something,
The girls,
to us,
like-
it's
It was
just
a-
another
It
one.
was.
We're tying it into all these things. I was in a basement that smelled like lavender, and I was wearing a purple belt, and I had a
Screw
side
off,
ponytail, and I was sitting here, and my friend was sitting here, and they were sitting here, and it was the
I hate you.
size doesn't matter.
No, it's not the size that counts.
It's not the size that counts, which we all know it is. And then I got hammered drunk
I did. I
on
did.
schnapps,
No, it was on a bunch of stuff, but
and then I rolled around in glass,
got my back all.
and
cut
then I
up.
never wanted to drink again.
You know me. Yes, that's
And you
what
didn't
happened.
until you're about 20.
That's exactly what
5.
happened.
So there it is. And me, I don't remember. I do remember.
I don't remember.
I remember dudes. I went to very strict Christian
Yeah.
college,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Dudes were looking up porn in the computer lab at night, trying to
Okay.
look it up.
In the computer lab.
Do you remember though, back in
Okay,
the
that's-
day, like looking up porn, like when you're trying to look up porn, you're just
Dial
like
up.
you're like sitting there,
Like the moon's
and you're
gone,
watching
and
it come in. Like there's her head. There's her neck. Oh, wait, here's it. The nipples coming. Nipples coming. You're like 18 seconds left. The nipples coming. Oh, yes.
Okay, I'm done. I don't even.
You're on the first picture. The first one.
Dude, you're
Good stuff,
This
man.
escalated quickly.
Yeah, now it's like you've gone through the time it took to pull up one picture that you were probably disappointed in, which that meant you were going to be on there for 6 hours that night. You were like, oh my gosh, it's 4:30 in the morning. I've got to find a picture soon. Yeah. You know,
I gotta find something
it's like
that's
I've
gonna
been
help me relieve
searching for
myself.
something decent for 4 hours. Now you've gone through like 803 pictures.
In like 30
Yeah,
seconds.
you're like, nah. Nah. I think I watch video clips.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
Wait a minute, this GIF will work.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't even think of stuff like that.
I remember somebody telling me, I don't know if it was a brother or a friend or somebody, when they're like, I remember the day that pictures were done for me. Like it was like this moment in my life where pictures were something that did it for me for all that time, because
that's all you had.
Videos
that's all you
and then
had.
these videos came out.
Then it's just
like
a whole
these
new
videos,
ballgame.
and it's like pictures will never work again.
No, because you have
gone forever. Like when before it was like freaking you do. I got Victoria's Secret magazine came in the mail and
that
mom isn't
sucks,
home
man.
yet.
I didn't.
I gotta
even
get
think
in
about
and get it before it gets thrown out.
Damn, man, you grew up with the. That was rough.
That was
man.
no, that was back in the day. It was
Sports
funny.
Illustrated
That'd be rough,
swimsuit
dude.
issue.
I've had Sports Illustrated. That's nothing compared to like.
No, I mean now.
If you're watching like obviously online. And stuff
Now
like
it's no big deal, but back then it was like, yeah.
Skin. It's going to desensitize you. I remember that was the big word in my Christian home and church, and it was like, if you watch that stuff, it's going to desensitize you.
I remember like. I do remember thinking the first time I was caught. Like I wasn't caught on spot.
Oh no.
But it wasn't really.
You knew and they knew.
It wasn't even bad though. Like, mom, I don't know if my dad even. I remember my mom. Cause my mom's like, "You're a guy." You know what I mean? Like,
see, that's good. That's healthy.
Like, I mean, and I was raised in a Christian home, but I didn't like. Like, I was raised in a Christian home. I wasn't like in like a military home or something where like I had to like. Trot through that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
But, like they raised me right there, but like she's like, it don't make you bad, like you know what I mean? Like you're a guy, you know what I mean? Like you have feelings, you have thoughts, you have testosterone, you know what I'm saying? Like it's going to happen.
It's
you know
the way you were made. That's what blows me away. And I don't want to get on a rant, but
so it was.
That's what blows me away
so
about
at least
the
it was
Christian
like that. She
or
wasn't
religious
like,
culture.
She wasn't like you're grounded, like.
Well,
Yeah.
shameful in my,
like
you
that.
know,
Yeah,
and
she
my
wasn't
mom
like
and
you
dad
should
never
get that-
talked about it or said anything, and I know they probably caught me or knew, because it's when you're, you get to 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19,
puberty and stuff like
you're like nonstop. Like it's like it's all
Yeah.
you've got to. It's got to happen.
Yeah.
Like there's no. But I remember the shame, like feeling shame sometimes. Like
Oh,
this
yeah, definitely.
terrible
Yeah,
shame
yeah.
because of religious beliefs.
Yeah.
only.
Oh yeah. I definitely.
Which that's crazy.
That's
because
why
that's
you
how
hide
God
it,
made
honestly.
you.
Yeah.
Right,
Exactly.
And that's how God made every other kid. I remember getting to college, and everybody's talking about it. You know what I mean? Like in college, everybody was like talking about how they beat off, or how they, like it's no big deal. And I was like, this weird, people do it. Like everybody's like me. But when I was in high school, nobody talked about it. It was like, oh, you do,
like shunned.
you're bad.
Yeah,
if
you're
you did
like,
it.
you're going to hell
It's
for that. Or
weird.
something.
Girls didn't have to go through that.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Because we didn't evolve like that until we were in
Your
like our
30s.
late 30s. So and by the time you're an adult, you can do what you want to do. Your parents aren't there in the house. It doesn't matter. Like most girls don't have to deal with that. Like there's not a lot of teenage girls that have to do that like the guys do. It's just not like that. It's not like
I feel
that.
like everything. I don't mean to cut you off, but like the girls have all the power. Like the guys down anytime. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's up to the woman to be.
No, but what I'm
you know
saying
what
is that the girls and the guys.
A guy's always ready.
No, I know, but we were created
You know what I'm
like
saying?
a girl. You guys are always ready, and that's fine. I understand that, but like the girls when we're younger, like in high school, you could go. I mean, sure, you want to do it every once.
God made us like that.
No,
We
sure,
didn't create anything else.
sure you can. Sure, you want to do it. That's not what I'm saying.
It just
But it's not a
isn't
need. It's not.
yeah.
This is going to happen today. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That happens later in life. That happens when you're in your 30s, typically.
Right.
Because
And
you
it
go through a
gets
time in
more
your
intense,
20s where it's like, no, thank you. I can go like months without it. But then you get to your 30s and it's like it's going to happen today no matter what. But you're an adult already, so you don't have to feel the shame.
Do you think that it's like that though because women dictate if it happens most of the time? Like
no, I think it's a hormonal thing. I think it's an actual factual. It's 100%. Because I'm going to be 43, and I have a lot of friends, obviously my age, and we've talked about this. How in your 20s it's like and then you get to your mid 30s and you're like, well, I mean, this is going to happen today. So by what means is this happening today? But we don't have to feel guilty about that like you guys did when you were little because you felt like you were young and like it was something wrong. And because
definitely.
When you're in your 30s, you're like, okay, I'm an adult.
You understand. Your mind isn't working when you're kids. All you know is what's been pushed on you.
That's what I'm saying.
What you've grown up in. Yeah.
Like, so I can't relate to, like, you guys feeling, like, guilty.
It's a terrible shame and guilt that it's like, this is bad, but then
so
you're
my
thinking
mom
that...
was, like, talking to me like that, then I didn't. I wasn't... Like I said,
great.
I was ashamed. So, obviously, you're ashamed of it, or you would freaking... I'm not going to mention that to my parents, you know what I'm saying? Because how I just thought it was wrong, and I felt ashamed of doing it, but I still did, even though I hid it. But once she found out, and she's like, she didn't, like, go too crazy. She went crazy about him. She's like, I know you're a guy. Like, it could be a whole lot worse, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could be doing a whole lot worse other things, but you're a guy. I mean, it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Just
like,
be discreet about it.
Yeah. You're a dude. Like,
don't be Louis C.K.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Just, like, do your search or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, or whatever. Or make sure your door's locked or something. You know what I'm saying? It's like... It's like that,
I'm just glad I didn't have to go through that because I didn't have.
Yeah, women don't.
No,
I feel like women don't.
It's later in life when everything's okay. You're an adult.
I think it's like that for dudes. Like you said, your 20s. Like dudes, like it's like that. Somebody explained it like the Krispy Kreme assembly line. Like those donuts. It's like a man produces. Like and women don't do that. It's just the men we're producing right now. And it's like an assembly line. It's like those donuts. They never stop. And they're going to come off of that assembly. Yeah. Somebody's got to catch them. Somebody's got to put them in a box. Somebody's got to do something. One way or the other, they're coming off there. Like we're producing. And it's going to, you can't go, you've got.
There's no stopping, like you said.
You've got stuff's going on in here. It's going to build up. So it's better to just, and then like you said, like you're in your 20s, you don't care as much. Well, dudes are still doing that. And it's like you have that guilt of it transfers from, say, your parent to now. If you're doing that without having sex with your wife in your 20s as a dude, then you're worried that if she finds out that you're doing it, whether you're doing it to anything or not, even if it's just you in the bathroom, just getting it done.
I know.
You know if she catches you, you feel bad because you don't want to make her feel like she's not good enough. Yeah. It has nothing to do with her. You just know she's not down.
Yeah.
But
and you got to get this thing out so you can go to sleep.
If you're in your 20s, though, that would translate into a very big self-esteem hit. Like
exactly.
Now it wouldn't. If I walked in the bathroom right now and you were doing that, I was like, all right, buddy. I mean, I'd either join in or I'd be like, you good? Because I'm going to go lay back down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I wouldn't be mad at all.
But that's my instinct to know that it would be a big ego hit. But, or not ego hit, but a self-esteem hit. Because you would feel, because there's just that imbalance at that time where you know we're having kids and you're not in the mood and you know that you're not doing that, so you think I've got to do this, and it's because of you. But regardless of whether that or that, it's just got to happen. And you don't have to do it for me. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, that is. I've never been through, but that would be.
There's the guilt, like the worry, and like I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Yeah, of course.
I got to get this thing out.
Yeah, no, and
I got to get this.
Yeah.
But don't you like agree though? Like even when you get older, like say like. I feel like there's never really a time, especially if a dude's hanging out with a girl, a guy will always be down no matter what. Especially if they're taking the time to hang out with the girl. Yeah. If the girl like just strips down like, yo, we're going at it. But if a guy strips down like going at it, the girl isn't down.
It gets
like,
creepy all of a sudden,
depends.
right?
But the girl is always in charge. If like if they're at least hanging out with you,
depends on
the guy could always be down, but the girl may not. But if the girl's down,
there's
the guy,
there's
never one time, you know what I'm saying, that a guy's like.
I think there's some scandalous ladies with some serious daddy issues there.
Oh yeah, yeah. 100%, yeah.
But in general, I think you're right. In general, I think you're 100% right.
Women hold the power. Yeah. For stuff to go down.
Because it's undefeated.
It is undefeated. That's what I'm saying.
It's undefeated.
That's his. Yep, that's what you say all the time, isn't it?
It's undefeated, man. We can end on that as far as I'm concerned.
We can end that. It's undefeated.
It is undefeated.
And not the Bush.
Oh gosh, no.
1989 Bush.
Okay. All right.
Hustler.
Hustler magazine. I've never looked at one. Have you? Hustler magazine?
Absolutely.
No, I've never have.
Well, we need
Playboy,
to get
though.
one.
I've had
we
Playboy.
need to get one next time.
Education.
We'll look at it together.
Education for you.
We'll all three sit down, or maybe I might bring
That
one
might be
with.
weird.
No, I'll bring one with me, and then we'll have you educate all.
Are you gonna buy one? Do you think they still have them? You can buy them at the
A
grocery
woman or a magazine?
You know,
No.
on the west side.
I hear you get them for $40.
No, the
Dude, you know what? So okay, say before we end this, or we can talk about this after. Would you feel weird when you're married?
Just
That's
ask me.
okay.
It doesn't
Would you
matter.
feel
I'll
weird-
pretend she's not here.
Okay, just pretend you're not married. Does that make
Yeah, I
sense?
don't do that often.
I was
but
going
I'll do it.
to say hypothetically. Would you feel weird going in and buying a Hustler right now? Like, would it make you feel awkward, like going up to the counter?
I can answer that. He would go in right now with me in the car waiting and buy one and not feel a bit awkward.
When I was your age, I would sweat probably. Now,
No.
I would be like, bro,
We're role
Hustler
playing.
or do you want like,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like,
So it wouldn't no sweat off your back then. Now,
I would joke about it. I make it
I
a
would
joke.
go buy one.
I wouldn't.
really, you wouldn't feel weird.
No.
No, I would not feel weird.
You wouldn't feel weird at all. Like I was like, cause like going up to the counter and they're like, "Oh, this all you want?" You know what I'm saying? Like I get embarrassed easy though.
Right.
I mean,
right.
Yeah,
yeah,
you
you
do.
know that. I'm sure you know that now.
Yeah, I would have been very self-conscious when I was in my like 20s, maybe even in my 30s, like just that somebody might see me and like they might think that I'm not a good
no.
Christian.
Yeah, like that'd
like
be
I'm not
so,
a good person because I'm doing this. But now I'm like,
Yo, hey, this is the way to go. That's
Yeah.
what you'd be doing.
I would be like, hey,
Yep.
Megan Good, front cover, way to go. You know?
research for a podcast, arranged marriage.
All right, I'm done.
All right, good night.
That was good.